I just call him Papaw, but whatever.
Yeah, me, you, and old Papaw. Anyways, we're live.
Holland used to sit here.
Welcome to the Iron Palace Podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Iron Palace Podcast, the world's most anabolic podcast that boosts your gains, inflates your pump, and leaves your sleeves trembling in fear. Please stop.
Dude, you know I fidget.
That's not a spinner.
I know, that's why I had to improvise.
Wow, what is that, like 10 seconds before we got demonetized? Might be a new record, Dave.
But if you put it on the right website, you'll get very monetized.
Anyways.
Hashtag only Dave.
Only Dave?
That's the name of my OnlyFans, dog. Only Dave 6969. See if that's taken, Alan.
Yep.
Damn. Back to the drawing board.
The fake typing on the keyboard.
Way to ruin the magic.
You couldn't hear it. It didn't even touch it. They can't see him. Please stop.
Now I can't help it. Now it's a thing.
Wherever Holland's at, he's uncomfortable. I know it.
I think I made him excited.
All right. So anyways, we have our friend Josh Steppe back.
The return.
The return, some say. And by some, I mean Dave. So you've had a pretty big year so far with strongman, haven't you?
It's been an all right year. I went and did the Southeast Regional qualifier for Strongman Corporation in April, and before that was nationals before I came here on the first episode.
Yep.
So I haven't done a whole lot. It's been a lot of training, but the Southeast Regionals was cool. It was a big show. It was fun.
It looked cool.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was put on real well. All the promoters were great. All the athletes were great. It was fast. Everyone's real efficient. So it makes it a lot easier to compete, when you ain't sitting around for hours and stuff. It goes by fast and you can do it and get done.
Yep. That's often how I describe Dave. Fast, efficient. Okay, maybe Alan.
You wouldn't
disagrees.
talk like that if Holland was here, dude. You know I'm his little strong boy, and he don't like it when you talk about it.
Anyways, so what's your next game? Did you say you are doing OSG or you're not doing OSG?
I'm not doing OSG, but I have USS Nats.
That's what it was.
In June. Yeah.
Ooh, so not too far.
June 28th. Yes, June 28th.
Oh, nice. We'll be in Kentucky.
As I'm going, it's just in North Carolina. So I was on a toss-up of doing America's Strongest Man or USS Nats, but I can't do both because America's Strongest Man's like 2 weeks after USS. But I've been chasing this national title for a while. So I said, I just got to get this one out of the way and then, branch up, move on, do something else.
What's your, after you do USS Nats, what do you think you're going to aim for next?
I think I'm going to go out to Vegas for Strongman Corporation Nats. Try to hit both of them in the same year.
Both of them.
Both
of them.
I'd be sick.
2 dubs would be crazy, but
I believe in you.
it'd be cool. There's only been one guy to do it.
There's only been one person I've told I believe on him that's trying. So you got that against the rest of them.
Yeah, I want Strongman Corporation Nats. Get that pro card and get the invite to Arnold.
Be
That'd be
careful, though.
dope.
My belief has shown up on certain urine tests.
What?
Watch out. My endorsement can do weird things to a man.
So you think if you make it to the Arnold next year, you think you're going to dethrone your buddy?
I don't know, man. Cody's tough.
He's a beast.
Cody's tough, and it'd be hard because he's my coach.
Yep.
So, would it be weird going in and competing against your coach? But I don't know. Maybe it'd be more competitive. Like, so you got to train me harder to try to beat him, or
Would definitely be interesting.
yeah. I don't know how to go down, but no, he's a tough, strong dude. So that'd be a heck of a competition anywhere.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd want to watch it. I think it'd be sick.
Yeah,
just from that little bit I've talked to him, he seems stand up enough to where I don't think he would mess up your training for it. I think he wants you to.
Yeah, no.
I think he'd want you to push him.
Nah, we've been friends since 2018, long before he even started coaching me. So I don't think there wouldn't be anything like that. It would just be.
I could see it now. I'm going to start the controversy though. If you compete and then lose, I'll be, oh no, dude. Cody set him up, dude. He sandbagged his training. He didn't want to lose. He knew it was coming. I'll start the whole thing.
He's cool. I think just it'd be tough to beat him in any scenario, coaching or not. He's he's on another level.
Yeah, that's whenever he was telling us about. He said, I went to that one not even thinking I was going to win or even place. I just went to have fun and then walked out number one. I was like, I wish I could do that on a bad day. And
that's his like fortitude.
Yeah,
he lays it all out. Every competition, every event, every competition, doesn't matter. He doesn't care where the standings are at. He's first or last. He's going all in, and that's the type of training he like instills in his clients. And that's what I've been trying to learn versus like the points game of it.
Yep.
Just go all out every time.
I think it's a good mentality to have because at least if you come in, if for whatever reason you come in last, but you still put it all out there, at least you know that you did the best you could.
Yeah.
And there's no looking back saying, oh, I could have done that better. But if you just feel like you did good or you did the best you could, that's all you can do.
That's beautiful, Caleb.
I know. I've been practicing my words. Bought a dictionary the other day. Thought about opening it.
I think that's a thesaurus would do you better because like you know words, just simple ones.
Why do I want to know more about dinosaurs?
Good point. Checkmate. Got me. Yes, your legs still look gay. Quit looking at them.
You're just saying that 'cause they look good, bro. Actually, they're small. But
Way to make it weird.
you're the one who talked about my legs first.
Whatever, dude. I'm still here playing the Ravens. You got any more questions, dude? You're hosting this shindig. Don't put the pressure on me. We'll start talking about aliens.
So, what's your favorite color?
The ones I can see the best. I'm colorblind, so they kind of come at the same.
Me too.
Yeah.
But like for political reasons. Like no.
Mine's like medical reasons, I guess.
I got
don't know. Maybe it's Maybelline. I was born with it.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't know Dave was colorblind. So what colors? Now I'm curious. What colors are you colorblind to?
Like red. They call it red-green colorblind, but I can see the difference in red and green. But if you have like shades that are similar, I can't tell them apart. And if you have like a green piece of paper and you wrote in a red Sharpie, I wouldn't see the red. It would just be a whole green sheet of paper.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Or vice versa. If it was red with green Sharpie, I wouldn't see the green. It'd be all red. It's like it just picks one. Are you going to test it?
If I had a green piece of paper, I was, yeah. I'm going to write something. You tell me what it says.
I used to work with a colorblind fella, and we have to highlight the hours based on how we did, like a color, and somebody labeled them all the wrong color. So he colored them all wrong all night. I didn't know he was colorblind. I was like, hey, dude, that's the wrong color. He's like, no, dude, it says green. I went, are you messing with me? He's like, no, I'm colorblind. I went, oh, dog, somebody got you, bro.
My boss is colorblind, so we do that all the time. I said something the other day. I was like, yeah, dude, that's more green than his pants. And he goes, his pants are green? I'm like, yeah. And he goes, seriously,
you know?
he's like, don't mess with me. What color are they? I was like, dude, I'm really serious. Those are green. He's like, they're gray. was like, I don't know why you're stressing out about it. You've known you're colorblind.
Yeah, but he probably doesn't think about it till you bring it up, jerk.
Or like
it's like you don't think about your skinny back until Alan or me says something.
To be fair, I don't have a skinny back right now. I'm just all proportioned.
You're skinny everything.
Yeah. Since you've been here, I've lost 40 pounds.
So yeah.
So that's fun.
On purpose?
Unfortunately.
Okay. I didn't know if you got sick.
No, I mean, yeah.
He's back on that shit.
No, me and Holland are doing a friendly bodybuilding competition.
In 2 weeks.
It's next Saturday.
Week and a half.
So as you can tell, I'm lean as hell. Not really. I'm just less fat than I was. But Holland's down over 50 pounds now. And I'm down over 40. And I'm hating it.
Yeah, it doesn't sound fun.
Nope, I'm not doing it again.
Who's judging?
Well, we're having 3 golly. 3 judges. We're having 3 judges. One of them is our coach, because me and him have the same coach right now. And then he's bringing 2 of his friends to judge. And then the winner gets bragging rights. That's it. That's it. Yeah. That's what all my family, every time we go somewhere and I'm eating chicken and rice, and they're like, what do you do if you win? I get the
win.
Yeah. I say I won. We don't even have a trophy for it. And if we did, I would be the one making it. So yeah. But after that, I'm going to go back into strongman. So have you thought about doing the Shaw Classic?
No.
I was about to say, I take your look as a no.
With like the pros?
No, they have an amateur division.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They didn't play you like that, dude. Yeah, with the pros.
So, I mean, yeah, I'm obviously you're going for a pro card. I'm just, no, they have an amateur division that is, they have 100 athletes sign up, and then I think it's on.
Only one leaves alive.
I mean, essentially, on Friday, I forget specifically how it works. Either way, 100 people start the show, and then that on one day, by the end of the day, they dwindle it down to the top 10, and then top 10 move on.
So it's like an OSG type of.
Similar, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even know they did an amateur division.
And from what I've seen, they only have 2 weight classes. The lightweight goes up to 231.5. I seen that. I was like, what kind of a lightweight is that?
Yeah, usually it's like 200 under, 200 up.
Yeah, that's what so I've talked Holland into, I think, because I already told him that's my goal at the end of this bodybuilding thing is to start training for that next year. I said, Holland, dude, lightweight is 231. You're like 215 right now. Why don't you just bump back up to 231?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, I guess I could go. I don't know if I could compete with 230 guys.
Yeah, that's going to be nuts. But yeah, that's my goal is to go, and I'm not planning on making it to top 10, but I plan on giving them hell. Maybe I might lift at least one thing heavy. Just one.
So you do it at his place in Denver?
Yeah, he would get like this is what third. This will be the 4th year he's done it. Yeah. 4th or 5th, and he gets this huge like a event center thing that he does it all in. I mean, the pro show is the primary thing.
Yeah.
But the amateur, I think amateur does similar events. Our friend Kira has won it, and I don't know why I don't ask her more details about it. But she won the women's amateur last year.
You just sign up.
Yep.
No qualification thing or nothing.
That I've seen, no. But that's just 100 signups. So.
It's at the Blue Arena.
Is it blue?
I don't know.
Oh.
That's just what it's called.
How many ounces is in it? Watch this. He's good.
128.
Boom.
Got me. But yeah, other than that, we have no big plans either, so.
Yeah, I try not to get too far ahead. I want to focus on this one before I start looking at another one. But I also kind of have like, got to have some sort of a plan where I'm just fumbling around over my own feet. not knowing what to do.
My ADD won't let me just focus on one thing. So I wish I could. That would be really cool. I'd probably be really good at one thing if I could do that. Instead, I'm just kind of okay at a lot of things. I think it was Kerry Overfelt. I'd paid him to coach me in Highland Games for a little bit. And he said, for the first critique he gave me was, yep, you're a power lifter trying to throw things. Okay, well, that's accurate.
Yeah. Thanks.
And then the next one was, if you would just pick one, you could probably be pretty good at any of them. And I took that, and I have not listened to it yet. I've still done all of them.
Yeah, I like to master about 4 different hobbies at the same time.
Yeah.
And just be mediocre at all of them.
Yep. And then finish none of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my life in a nutshell.
I'm looking at the sign-ups. Shaw Classic 2025. It says sign-ups are open till June 27th. Maximum number 50, but you just go to the website and sign up.
Let's have his events and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think they give you weights or anything. I think it's a like they just give you a general. They'll be like log press, like this kind of thing. I don't think they give you weights yet, or the specific thing. I think it just tells you.
So far, they only have 43 confirmed signed competitors.
That's for this year, right?
Yeah, 2025.
That's crazy. I feel like that'd been booked out.
Especially
here's the
because
list of who's all signed up so far. There's 40.
If you win the amateur, you get an invite to the pro the next year. And the pro at the Shaw Classic is one of the highest paying payouts right now.
Yeah.
I think Mitch Hooper won last year, right? 2024.
I believe so.
Yeah, because I think he beat Hafthor. Mitch Hooper, I think, made over 100,000 just on that one. And then even the last place guy made over 1,000. So it's not too shabby.
That's more than I've made.
Mm-hmm. That's more than I make at work. So for just like a one-day thing.
Yeah, also true.
It's more a waiver than a sign up. Like you sign the waiver and then put sign me up, and then you pay. And then the ones that are listed, it says, are only ones that are approved and paid. So there might be people that are waiting for approval and stuff that haven't been confirmed yet. But
Pay $250 to get approved.
yeah.
All right. Well, I got a year and some change to save up $250. It's gonna be tight.
Yeah, holy cow.
It's gonna be tight.
Sign up fee.
John Furr signed up.
Who's that?
He was at Armor Gym. Moved back to Georgia.
It looks like you don't have to pay until you're approved, though, because step 4 is check in the table. If your name is listed as approved or be awaiting approval, awaiting payment, then you can pay. So you can get approved, and it just says awaiting payment, and you pay, and then you're on. So you don't have to pay up front, which is nice.
So I'm gonna be signed up next year, boys.
He was he competed with Mark Bivens, so trained with Mark Bivens.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh my gosh.
I know who Mark Bivens is.
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah, me too.
You know John Furr?
Maybe if I seen him, I don't recognize the name.
He's a big dude. He worked at an Armor Gym. He was their strongman coach over there.
Oh yeah, well I'm kind of tough. I'll
All
beat
my
him.
ringtone to be Alan just going.
All right now.
He's a big dude.
No, he was the strongman coach at Armor Gym for a while.
Dude, I ain't scared.
Now he's moved back to Georgia, I reckon.
Yeah, because he saw me coming.
Yeah.
I knew we were gonna say it.
I miss Holland. What do you think he's doing? You think he's having termies?
Termies?
Yeah. Beers in the terminal. Termies.
I don't know. You want to call him?
No, because he should have boarded by now. So if he's still there, he's probably not in the mood to use his phone because his flight's been delayed another hour.
Oh my gosh.
You're really on the ups over there, aren't you? So anyways, how was doing your makeshift training at home?
It's come a long way. I have a real yoke now.
Ooh.
Yep.
What were you using before?
So I bought like like one of the old 2-post squat racks off Marketplace. And then I had my buddy weld 2 4-inch square tubing things. I don't know where he got them from. They're square tubes. And I cut one of my old barbells off and had them weld up to the tubes and then drill a hole through them. And we put a big-ass bolt through it in the squat rack. And that's why I would pick it up and carry it. And it would proceed to swing like this while I would carry it.
Rogue sells a conversion for a squat rack.
Yeah, it
Really?
Yeah, it's like $300 and something.
God, you can buy a yoke for that.
Yeah, yeah. So I bought an actual yoke. And that has helped tremendously.
I'm trying to talk this guy I know that's really good at making stuff into making me a yoke. Here's a hint. He's sitting over there.
I still got to cut that Husafell out. So
Yeah, dude. He still got his.
I didn't say those rush.
You insinuated it.
He's got this
Don't take
giant piece of granite that weighs, as it is, it's like 1,000 pounds. But he's going to cut it into a roughly 400-pound Husafell.
I'm never even going to touch it.
That's not true. You'll touch
Just
it.
pet it.
Yeah, I'm probably not even that.
Leave it where it's at.
I'll be like, that looks heavy.
Yeah, whenever he got that thing, he set it over with his tractor, and I pulled over there to go and go practice Highland games. And he goes, "Hey, there it is." I was like, "I'm going to pick it up." No.
it don't move.
Not with that attitude.
That's heavy.
Yep. It reminded me whenever I got the 454 dropped out here, the stone, and the guy pushed out of the bed of the truck, and like it shook the ground. I was like, man, I couldn't imagine 1,000 pounds just.
Let's try. Let's try to imagine it. Let's just all sit here.
Yeah, I picked it out before we put fluid in the tires, and it had the tractor floating. Back in the tractor was floating.
I mean, I've picked up a tractor before. I think I could do it.
Hadn't put fluid in the tires, and it had my tractor floating. Sounds like a way to tell somebody on the low that you're tripping balls.
And that's story time with Alan.
Like, you're not a cop, are you? Let me just put it this way. I didn't put the fluid in the tires. The tractor's floating.
So, what other makeshift equipment did you have? We're hitting like prime podcast material now.
I'm trying. I did have to make a frame because I don't have a frame to practice for nationals.
Yep.
So I took my farmer's handles and I took some 2x6s and drilled holes in them, and then some more like along the handles and just made a box and stuck my handles in it. And it works. I mean,
It seems like it's actually pretty close.
it's pretty close. Yeah, it has the same handle width and height, so it hasn't fell apart yet.
I've seen a lot of people use the trap bar. Is it even close? It doesn't seem like it'd be close to me because your weight distribution is very different.
I train my so the nationals is the frame carry, and then you also have the frame deadlift on the same frame. So I train my deadlifts on just a trap bar instead of at home on the frame, and it's I don't know, it's 50-50. I mean, it's kind of easier in some ways and harder in other.
Yep.
Because the handles spin when you try to deadlift, but the weight's closer, so it's easier to lift on a trap bar. But I don't think I'd try to practice the carries with it.
I know. Whenever I first started working out and I wanted to do farmer's carries, all we had was a trap bar. And I tried doing trap bar carries. I didn't think it was really the same at all.
No, farmer's handles are moving everywhere. You got to control them. You don't have to worry about that in your trap bar.
Yep. I made my first set of farmer's handles with me and my papaw, and he just had a bunch of that 1-inch square tubing. We just welded up this weird thing. And then for the handles, I had those adjustable dumbbells that were just all metal. And I just cut them, welded them on there. That was the sharpest knurling I've ever used in my life. And it hurts so bad. But you don't drop them. You don't have to worry about grip strength with them. Because I don't think you could let them go if you tried. That's the closest to any kind of makeshift stuff I've got.
Yeah, I've come up. I've actually bought quite a few pieces of equipment over the last couple months. A lot of sandbags, a lot of throwing bags. That yoke. Bought a new trap bar. The one at our gym would only go up to seven plates.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought a bigger one that goes up to, I don't know, 1,000 pounds, however many plates that is. I don't know.
I have no idea.
More than 7.
I think I've only lifted 1,000 once, and that was whenever me and Holland did it, and I didn't count the plates then. So I don't know.
I was pulling 675 on the old one. And Cody, you wanted me to find the max. I was working at like a 5 rep max or 6 rep max, and I went, I guess it's 675, brother. That's all I can fit. So
That's all I can tell you right now.
it's going to have to be good enough. But Nationals is only 600 for reps. So
Not bad.
I feel pretty confident in it.
How many do you think you're going to get?
I think it's going to depend on how fast their up and down commands are.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty confident in probably 20 plus.
How much time is it?
70 seconds.
Good night.
Yeah.
That just sounds like cardio. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, and I'm like 4th to last to go on the sign up. Yeah, so I get to see how many everyone's doing, and if they're only at like 12, then yeah, I'm gonna cash out at like 15. But
Oh yeah, 100%.
yeah,
How much
then
weight?
600.
It's on a trap bar. I mean, it's still heavy, but it's better than conventional.
Well, I've done that at the Arnold and gassed out at 17.
Yeah.
At 300.
Yeah, I was about to say that was. He was doing, what was it? Was it 3?
345 or something like that.
Yeah, it was on a trap bar at like the Army tent, and they were just doing it for reps. And he got to like 17, and it was fast. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm like, cool. He's about to smoke it, and he gets to 17, down, drops it, and walks off. We're like, dude, like you never even slowed down. He's like, I can't breathe.
That was rough.
I was like, oh, okay. We're getting we're going to be putting up some 25-foot uprights out here sometime, so you'll have to come throw sandbag.
25 feet
Mm-hmm.
straight up.
Mm-hmm.
I can't throw a bag that high.
What's adjustable?
Okay. Yeah. I can watch you guys throw it 25 feet.
What's the weights that or sandbags that you have to throw?
30, 35, 40.
Oh, easy all day. I've hit 18 with a 42-pound weight before. That's no problem.
Oh, well, then you'll have to show me because I can't throw sandbags.
One-handed.
Yeah, that's one-handed.
It's different.
And standing.
It's different.
I'm not good at it.
Height events are my thing.
Yeah, I'm not good at them at all.
But
I've hit 19 foot with a 42 pound.
that's what I'm saying. Holland said, because I've yet to do a competition with a sandbag throw, and it makes me mad because that's one I want to do. And like Holland did his last strongman, and he said he was doing, I think it was a 40-pound bag. I forget what the height was, and he said that he kept throwing it, but he was missing the bar, and so finally he just grabbed it one-handed and chucked it like a Highland game implement, and he said it just hit under the bar, and the guy said if you had made that one-handed, I would have quit. He was like, well, I've been throwing a 56 in Highland games for years. So I want to try. That's mostly why we need the uprights anyways just to practice Highland game stuff, but I really want to practice sandbag. I mean, I've hit 20 foot with like a 20-something pound keg one time. And that was a surprise. We showed up to that Highlander competition, and Carrie was like, all right, we're doing sheaf and the keg throw. I was like, I didn't know we were doing a keg throw. So that was fun. I've never done that before. That was also when Carrie threw in the Irish fling. I'm amazed you were just going to let that name go by. Anyways. Yeah, he said,
I just want to watch you flounder.
He said, we're running too fast. We got to slow down a little bit. So let's try the Irish fling. And it's just, you just stand in one spot and throw a weight. It's not entertaining at all.
Irish fling's a bar of soap you get at the Family Dollar.
Is Family Dollar still a thing?
I don't know. Probably.
don't know. I haven't seen one in a while.
Do you see where the
Either.
Dollar Generals are a scam? Like some kind of like, yeah, there was a whole like, I forget how they did it. Some kind of YouTube documentary. But like there's something fishy going on with them, like not above board. It's part of the reason you see them everywhere. I forget what it was exactly, but it was wild. I'll just send it to you. That was like a year or two ago. That was big news. Dollar Generals and some shady shit.
That felt like a story I would say. And then you would follow it up with, Caleb, that's a great story. I'm glad you told it.
Every time I close them and open them, they're a different strength.
Oh, yeah, Holland did take his with him, didn't he?
What, his keys to my heart?
Good God.
They're good again. Yeah, they're good again. Don't you have like a story or something, dude?
Does it look like I have a story? Don't you have a story or something?
I've always got a story. I'll tell you about the time that Taylor showed me around his family farm.
All right, we're going to move on from that one. It's one thing to get demonetized, another thing to get canceled altogether.
You like those better or like the little capsules?
I don't know that I've ever tried the capsules. You ever tried the Zone?
I will say,
Yeah, they're pretty good shit.
I like the convenience of the capsules, and they make for a much cooler just feel of what's going on. You just snap it, smell it, and throw it. You don't have to worry as much. Because one thing I love, it's my same problem with all the smelling salts in a bottle is the smell it, hit it, and then trying to get the lid on right.
Then you're fumbling for 10 seconds.
Yeah, because it will never go on right the first time after. So you're just...
I don't know if you can tell. My only experience with smelling salts is in this room, huffing them.
He's not wrong.
It's crazy that you can just sit there and huff them like that.
These aren't as stout as they once were, and I've built up a bit of a tolerance because I wear them out.
Yeah,
about 2-year-old.
Yeah, those aren't as bad as they were.
Yeah, those are about 2 years old, and they get open, as you can see, about 100 times.
I'm a smelling salt sommelier.
Now, I will say,
podcast and shit don't work out.
I will say, even though we're sponsored by them, I did try some of Jujimufu's.
Holy cow!
Oh my God!
Yeah,
dude.
I have seen people try them on Rogies, and he keeps them in a bag, and they'll open the bag and be like, "Dude, you can smell it." Like,
oh no joke!
Closed, waist height, and it's
yeah.
I get some of those.
Like he said, I had it at my waist. Took the lid off, and like the little white little filter cap was still on it, and it hit me. I was like, oh God! Like I couldn't even. You couldn't get no closer with it.
What are they called?
Yeah,
something like that.
Accurate. That is
How do you pronounce that, Alan?
That is the best name for it because that was crazy.
What is it in French?
I don't know.
Oh.
You speak French.
Oui. I will say, me and my brother used to watch Spider-Man, but in all the foreign languages because we thought it was funny whenever he was trying to learn how to shoot webs. And he just goes, "Twy." That's French. We watch that all the time.
I haven't used smelling salts in a long time.
Me neither. It's been like a week.
Once a week. I use them multiple times in that once a week.
Yeah, this is why those aren't as good anymore because, as you can see, we've created a monster.
Yeah. I get those. My buddy gets those capsules. If I do use them, that's what I use just because.
And those are good. And I said, they're really good. Like you can just keep them behind your ear or in your hat.
They're like a mid-set kind of thing.
Yeah.
If I have to use them. When I first started using smelling salts, like first trying them out and stuff, I was doing like a bench PR or something. I had to be bench because I was sitting on a bench, and my buddy's wife was in there. And I was getting ready. I was sitting on the bench, and she cracked it. And she shoved it in my nose, and they're glass.
Yeah.
So when she shoved it, it cut my nose, and it was drip. And I went, I can't even do it now. I was bleeding. It was burning. It was like the ammonia got in the cut. I went, no, I'm not.
No thanks.
I can't do it anymore.
I
Ruined the whole lift.
Michael's got the Frost. Is that what the white ones are called? They will transition you, dude. They're stout. Like they are rough, but they got what is it, mint? The white ones have mint in them.
Yeah.
So they're both terrible and great. Those are pretty wild.
Yeah, I think I've had it once where someone told me they weren't that strong. So I was like, okay, cool. So I was about to do I don't think it was a deadlift PR, but it was just a heavy deadlift set. And I hit it, and I felt like it shot straight to my brain, and I couldn't open my eye. And I was like, I'm not doing it. And I just walked off. I had to come back later.
Yeah, I get mixed results from them. If it's too strong, I can't focus. Then I can't lift.
Wasn't a Hackadini you grabbed the wrong one?
Yeah.
You got the stronger one?
I did.
About cooked yourself?
I did do that.
The cinnamony Cerberus ones are pretty stout.
Those are. But they're nice, though.
Yeah, they are how it feels to chew 5 gum. Because it's just aggressive cinnamon, but then it feels like you just smelled smelling salts.
One of my buddies, at his powerlifting meet, he was using capsules. And he said that he had done it right before he went out there. And, you're not supposed to have them on the platform.
Yeah.
And so he'd forgot. And so as he's walking out, he went, and like put it in the strap of his singlet. Then mid squat, as he's coming up, he caught it again. he's like, dude, I gassed myself the whole time.
He overhead pressed it.
Yeah. He was like, that was not a good idea.
Across America, countless people can't access the health care they desperately need. At Remote Area Medical, we believe everyone deserves quality care. That's why we offer free dental, vision, and medical services at mobile pop-up clinics nationwide. Just compassionate care from volunteer professionals. Your tax-deductible donation makes these clinics possible, changing lives and creating healthier communities. Join us today in bringing essential health care to those in need at ramusa.org.
My buddy's like immune to them. He'll crack 2 of them, just stuff them in his nostril, and he'll just walk around. I'm like, that's not.
No, I can't do that.
There's something wrong with you.
There was a guy at the Smoky Mountain Games. He competed at South Carolina Strongest Man.
Yeah.
We only know that because he had the shirt on.
Which is the equivalent of North Carolina's strongest woman.
But Michael, he had just bought the new Zone, the root beer or root beer, whatever it's called, like brand new. I think he'd only had it like a week, and the guy, he said, "Yeah, let me borrow the salt." So we handed it to him. He gets over there about to lift the day stones that are up front. He gets it like right here, like holding it, going, "You're going to need some stronger salts." And we're all going, "He just bought those. Like those are a week old, bro." I mean, granted, I will say they're not as strong as like the white ones to the Frost.
Yeah. They was hit or miss. One time
it's
you
also
could hit
true.
them, and you get nothing. The next time it would knock your head off.
Yep.
If you look at them, they're like really brown over the white. I think those are the scented ones, and the white's of salt. So I think a lot of it has to do with the mixture. Because I've noticed that too. If you look at it, it's mostly brown. It smells more like root beer. But if you shake it up,
every time I look in that one, to me it looks like cocoa powder.
You won't try it in a little bit of milk.
You're dang straight I won't.
Coward.
Got that 100% right.
Dude, do it for the content, bro.
But they do smell good.
They do smell good, yeah.
What happens if you eat smelling salts? Can we start calling them eating salts?
So whenever you use smelling salts, do you ever feel it in your chest and arms about 5 minutes later?
We had a guy that was supposed to smell them, and we were pretty sure he ghost smelled them and didn't really smell them. There were some of the stout ones of those. And then about
he's
5
never
minutes
used
later,
them before.
Yeah, about
mind
5
you.
minutes later, he tried to tell Caleb, I think I'm starting to feel something now. I feel like my chest and arms. We're like,
all right, man.
Yeah.
He's like, this is my first time ever doing a weed, guys.
That was like my brother. I was joking with him. Me and him went to play golf. And we got up to the first tee box, and I went, dang, man, I should have brought my smelling salt out here. That'd been hilarious. And he was like, I've never tried them. What are they? So whenever we got back to the truck, I let him try them, and he's holding it, and he goes, so you're going to like make me feel weird or something? I was like, what do you think this is? Like, do you think
They're not bath salts, man.
Yeah, I was like, you think I'm like opening you up to drugs?
Ingesting them can be harmful, not will be harmful.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah. Ingesting ammonia can cause severe burns and damage to the digestive system, as well as other health problems.
If you apply it straight to a cut, though, I think you're okay.
It burns.
Can potentially damage your digestive and breath tract.
That'd be fine.
Yeah, buff out.
The thing about all the side effects they say at the end of all these pharmaceuticals that they still prescribe you on TV.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and all those.
That's a shorter list than that.
Yeah, and nowhere in there did I hear death or
may cause diarrhea. Yeah. As long as I'm not going to get the runs, I'm good.
About every medication I hear the side effects for, the end of it is death or suicide.
Dude, content idea. We need to shoot like a Cialis commercial for these, like just a bathtub and a balcony, and just like the same way all those commercials are.
The speed
for zone smelling salts.
The speed that I think zone smelling salts would unsponsor us.
Or they might be like, that's pretty sick.
They very rarely talk to us, so I feel confident that we would get an immediate reaction of take it down or we're done, or probably both, actually.
Dude, I think
take it down, you're done.
Yeah,
that's a great idea. Whatever. Be like, do you like boners and bathtubs? Zone smelling salts.
This is what I'm saying. See, whenever Dave gets an idea, you got to let it cook for a minute because one, you got to make sure he's sold on it, and two, you got to let everyone realize that his first idea is never the best one.
I think all my first ideas are the best ones. I only have first ideas, dude. I shoot from the hip.
That's exactly what I mean by it. Usually, we make Dave give us
draft ever.
We make Dave give us about 10 ideas. They're usually not related to each other at all, and then by then he'll get to a good one at some point.
They're all good. It's just they're not all acceptable.
Yeah, that's a better term.
Acceptable.
We're all of a sudden real corporate around here.
I don't want to know what other words they'd call us if we went with all of your ideas.
I don't know, man. I think that's a good commercial idea. Just a silhouette of a man in the bathtubs.
Now that part would be funny.
Then just a caber.
And that's what I mean. See, you had a real good idea.
Dude, you know how many of these they'd sell? More than one.
Speaking of which, we got to pick our giveaway winner. Which I'm assuming by the time this episode comes out, we've already done it.
They get one loose pinch.
No.
And one of the little dime baggies.
I was going to leave it loose in the overall bag, the string bag.
We sponsored
Salt
three.
Bay it.
We sponsored 3 Highland games and made swag bags for the winners. And Dave's thing was he was wanting to put a pinch of smelling salts and loose smelling salts in each one.
Still with a kiss.
Remember the ideas thing? That was one that we didn't listen to.
Yeah, I'm mad I'd be if I opened one of those bags, got hit with smelling salts.
Dude, that part would be funny.
It's like a glitter bomb, but for men.
You should put them in someone's air vents in their car, like whenever they get married.
Put on my wife's hairdryer.
Okay.
Didn't Holland gas himself out in the truck with those?
Yeah. Holland has a pretty decent drive to work. So he said he was tired on his way up there trying to wake up, and he goes, I got these new smelling salts. I'll try them. And that was those when they were new. And he pulled them up. He said, don't do that in a closed environment.
Holland's never made that noise.
You're right. This is the sound he makes every time he takes a smelling salt. Ah! That was it.
You wouldn't talk like that if Holland was here.
Quite literally, I would have said that if he was here.
Too bad we can't call him and ask.
I mean, we could. I just don't think he'd answer.
I don't know. Do you think he sprung for the airplane Wi-Fi?
I don't know. I think he just sent me a text like 2 minutes ago. Yeah, he did. 7 minutes ago, he texted me.
That son of a bitch.
He actually, you know, I'll read you what he said.
Gary Allen, bro.
He said, "I'm not on the plane yet. Don't tell Dave."
Remember Dumb and Dumber when he's running, trying to take her a briefcase? With me after Holland's ass, buddy.
Wait, town is that way.
You have to forgive my friend here. He's a little slow. The town is that way.
It's a great movie.
It's solid. The second one, which was just mediocre, was also a big money laundering scheme, apparently. Like, they made it just to move some money around. Like, it was a whole big...
I wish I had to make a movie to move money around.
Saw it in theaters. It was underwhelming.
Whenever I move money around now, it's usually just called credit cards or debt relief. He recently found his 23andMe and found out he's French.
Oui.
And it's really getting on my nerves.
I keep speaking French to him at lunch and just ruins his day.
That's
I'm on
why
Duolingo. I'm on a 14-day streak, dog. Don't let me get hot.
it was literally that day that he started Duolingo to learn French.
I'm married to the game.
He looked at it, he goes, "Oh, it's updated. Dude," and starts listing off all these things. And he was like, And then the next time I saw him, which was 2 hours later, he's on Duolingo learning French. And then it's been like that ever since. That's why you'll see him now with the smelling salts. Just
Je suis gros chat.
My kid has Duolingo, and I don't know how he got started with it, but there was one day he was sitting in the car and he has it's not a real phone, but it just like it'll text and call me and his mom, and that's all he can do. And it has like pre-downloaded math games, and he has Duolingo on it. And I was like, "What are you doing?" He said, "My Duolingo lesson for today." He's, "I'm on day like 400."
Hell yeah!
Like, nice. What are you learning? He went Italian. I went,
Hell yeah!
all right, man. I mean, bold choice. He went, yeah.
Arrivederci. Like all the glorious bastards.
Learning. I said, you didn't want to pick like a, more practical language like Spanish or something. That come in real handy in the future. He went, no, learn Italian. All right, brother. Like you could, wear it out.
Makes me think of that show Firefly. You know what? They're this big space adventure, and they all speak Mandarin. He's like, he's preparing for those days. It's not the language you think it's going to last. Italian's going to be it.
You've got your own streak, but you also have like a friend streak you can do, like with your buddies. And like, oh, you guys are. So like, I had to text my wife last night. I was about to go to bed, and I'd done mine, and it was like, oh, hey, your friend Jessica hasn't done hers. Could we like to send her a nudge? I was like, what? I'm like, yeah. Then I texted her. I was like, hey, lady, our streak is coming dangerously close to an end here. Hop on that shit.
She's smart though. She's doing Spanish.
See, that'd be useful.
Yeah.
Not that French wouldn't be. I just don't know when you'd use French.
It helps with English. There's a lot of crossover. A lot of French or a lot of English words are French derivatives.
Yeah,
they're all Germanic languages. Yeah,
that's true.
Quebecois.
I will say, when I did have to go to France and the Canadians were there, that was handy because they all spoke French and English. I was like, thank God, boys, because I barely speak English.
It's really good for one block of Epcot.
And by block, it's literally like a city block.
When they added that Ratatouille shit, it's probably a block and a half now.
I will say I was let down with the Ratatouille stuff. We walked up and I saw it like the whole. I was like, dude, this is dope. And then it's nothing. Could have been great.
There is a creperie there though. It's supposed to be pretty good.
What'd you say?
You heard me.
Yeah, I heard you. I didn't understand you.
A creperie. Just say I love really thin pancakes. That's a pretty good compromise, Ricky.
I remember whenever I was a kid, I got my first crepe. Dude, I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. I felt like I was exotic. Like it's not a pancake, it's a crepe.
Oh God, you on X Games mode.
Yeah. Then I also felt healthy because I had fruit in it. So I was like, dude, I'm exquisite. It's a big word.
Dangerously close to a French word, buddy.
Well, no, I don't speak French. It's America. I speak American.
Did you see their prime minister get slapped by a significant other the other day? Dude, it's hilarious. So
wait, the French?
Yeah, the prime minister, Macron or Macron, however, I'm pretty sure it's Macron.
Why are you asking me? You're the one that's doing French on Duolingo.
Candace Owens is a whole documentary about how his wife's a man. They did meet when he was like 15 and she was in her 30s.
What a time to be alive that someone's doing a story on if someone else's wife was a man.
You don't see her, you just see him. It looks like they're like a stadium or something. You just see a glass doorway and you just see her hands smack the shit out of him. And he's like, what? And then he looks and sees the cameras and smiles and waves. She smacks the piss out of him. Leaves a print, dude. Was that modern French? Yeah. But there was like a 200-year period where they were like cutting people's heads off and taking the Bastille and shit. Dope.
That's his go-to. And
we also funded the American Revolution.
I have known Dave now for several years. Never have I heard him talk about the Bastille. And in the last 2 weeks, I've heard about it every single day.
Bastille's pretty cool. It's a shame that they tore it all the way down. It'd make a cool museum. But now there's just like a plinth there in a square. But whatever. The key's in George Washington's house on the wall. It's in Mount Vernon.
I know that. You know how I know that?
It's neat.
Because you've told me 3 times.
It's really cool, though. It's wild to me that one of the most like significant things in French history is just on the wall at Washington's house.
It's crazy to me that a key is the most significant thing in French history.
One of the most. Well, they started to overthrow their monarchy. They were like, look, we got to get guns. So they went and got guns. Like, shit, we don't have any gunpowder. Where are they keeping it? this big prison called the Bastille, where they also keep political prisoners. 2 birds, 1 stone. So they all march on the Bastille, take the captain that's running its head, put it on a pike, march through the streets, and just tear the place down. And that was the first time that the monarchy was like, they might be serious. And then they beheaded like thousands of people and went a little too far, started beheading each other. That's how you end up with Napoleon. He got him straight away for a little bit. And they got rid of him and then brought back a monarch. But then Napoleon came back and then ran shit again for a little while. And then
You want to hear my favorite phrase when he starts this?
now we're here.
Dang, that's crazy.
Let's watch this dude get slapped.
I'm just saying, dude, any country that's breakfast is just like 20 different types of bread.
Hell yeah, dude.
No, not hell yeah, dude. That sucks.
Yeah, dude. Good crusty bread.
Ew.
A little bit of vinegar.
I will say, though, their jelly is so good.
Oh, it was getting off their freaking plane. That was in slow motion. And he's like, oh, hey, guys.
Now, you've all been there.
Hey.
Smooth.
Yeah. Yeah, the red part of the thing at the bottom. They met when he was way underage. So the best comment I've seen on that so far was somebody said, man, she's been bullying him since grade school. Hey.
I did go to Chateau d'If while I was in France. That was cool.
What?
You know,
You got to put a duck quack over that.
over Chateau d'If.
No, I said Chateau Queef.
Oh,
I
thanks
thought
for
that's what you
clarifying.
said.
No. You know, the prison that was in Count of Monte Cristo?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. That's it. That's probably the coolest thing I saw in France, actually.
I want to go to that Canon museum. They got a museum of all, there's nothing but cannons from just different
I will say
times
that
in
is pretty
history.
cool.
And like they're super, some of them are super ornate, like really cool looking. Like, they
I
look like freaking statues that you would find in like an Italian fountain or something, but they're freaking.
I still wish that
Cannons.
we could find someone that has a cannon
Let's make a cannon.
because, Alan, can you make
Alan,
a
can we
cannon?
make a small cannon? Can't or won't.
Yeah. But, Dad,
Like we just need like a Jackass size one. Remember that one that Johnny Knoxville was scaring people with on Jackass, the little tiny
Yeah.
one? He dressed like a pirate. Dude, I
know-
wouldn't get shit done that week if we got a cannon.
I've already forgot the guy's name that carried the cannon, but we've got to reenact it. We did a story on him a long time ago.
Come on, dude.
Come on, Dad.
Family
Dude.
project. We'll make the cast.
Yeah. I think I can 3D print a cast.
Holland's got a furnace.
Holland's got a furnace.
Bro, let's make a cannon that shoots like softball sized cannonballs. Like
Yeah.
nothing.
Wait, isn't that? Wait.
I
Isn't it cannon?
think that is cannon.
Yeah.
When I think cannon, I think like massive artillery cannon, like bore that big. We're going to elite that big. That's tiny. That's a pea shooter compared to that big, right?
What about a potato gun?
It's not the same, dude. I want to
No.
shoot an iron ball.
You're saying compressed air versus gunpowder? No.
Hairspray.
I want to make
That's not
people.
gunpowder.
Butane.
I want a cannon just big enough to make people uncomfortable with my Second Amendment rights.
Guns.
Shoot a softball sized piece of lead at me, I'm more than uncomfortable. I might be dead.
Maybe.
That's a lot of velocity.
I want it big enough that you can hear it.
I think we've officially found something that we can all agree on, but just for different uses. I want to carry one to reenact that
Conceal
whole.
carry.
Yeah.
Conceal carry a cannon.
Yeah, dude.
I carry it all the time.
Dude.
Just a cannon barrel.
Walk.
Walking through Roll King. What?
Yeah. Nothing to see here.
So I'm talking like a softball size shot about a board that long.
He's thinking. That means he
I
can
ain't
do
got
it.
no way to do it.
Not with that attitude, you
How-
don't. Let's
All right.
brainstorm it, dog.
Hold on. Here's what we do. We'll move on with the conversation. Alan's going to sit over there and stew on it.
I think Denzo would frown upon me using a lathe to do that.
Well, we don't tell
Yeah.
Mr.
Well, I
Denzo,
have-
dude.
You don't have cameras in your building? I mean, we do our job.
You ever seen the chest plate that got shot by the cannonball? It's like on display in the museum. It's Napoleonic era armor. You see where it entered and blew out the back. There was a
Good
dude
night.
in that
There-
when he
yeah,
got hit. Yeah.
There was.
Yeah. How'd they get it so clean? Because I would imagine with that kind of impact, you are just
Vaporized, dude.
at one with the metal then.
They probably used some Gojo or
Was
something.
catching the cannonballs. What was that guy's name?
Oh,
Both.
No.
Oh.
Dang, man. It's H. Something H. I don't
Holland.
remember. See, but these are major callbacks here.
That's where we'd wind up.
You dang straight.
By God,
We did a story on a guy that.
How confident are you in this load, Alan? Pause.
Whoa! But we used to do a lot of story. Did we do them when you were here? Did we do a story on a strongman?
Yeah, we did it on the Axel Apollo.
Yeah. Okay.
Epilon.
Yeah. Yeah, we did one on a guy that caught cannonballs. Like that was his thing. Now, mind you, we're pretty certain it was low gunpowder and they didn't shoot full force, and he had a lot of stuff in front of him. But either way, it's impressive.
Across America, countless people can't access the health care they desperately need. At Remote Area Medical, we believe everyone deserves quality care. That's why we offer free dental, vision, and medical services at mobile pop-up clinics nationwide. Just compassionate care from volunteer professionals. Your tax-deductible donation makes these clinics possible, changing lives and creating healthier communities. Join us today in bringing essential health care to those in need at ramusa.org.
Yeah, I've never caught one, so
I've never tried. I think I could do it.
I don't know.
I think a shot of zone smelling salts, I think I could catch one. And I mean like a shot, not a...
John Holton.
Yeah.
That was it.
Told you something with an H.
I was about to check my Facebook friends. He's on there somewhere. You ever heard of
He did have a couple of fingers blown off though.
They did.
You'll
That was
have
part.
that.
That was part of the story.
Yeah.
you gotta be married to the game though. You gotta move past shit like that.
And he'd actually, the only reason he stopped doing it was because he had done a while where he was taking volunteers of people that wanted to do it. Well, only one person tried, and then they got hospitalized.
Get hit in the head or something.
Yeah, they got hit in the head. So
No, I don't. I'll watch you do it. I don't think I want to try.
That's where we'd wind up if we made it.
to quote Troy, that is why no one shall remember your name.
So we had talked about making like a potato gun or something to shoot at Dave.
It's not the
Before
same
that.
though. I'll catch a
That was
cannonball.
a whole different thing though.
Oh, it was.
Shooting Dave with a potato gun is way different. I still want a cannon.
Yeah.
They're-
Dude, we could
listen.
recreate the 1812 overture.
I mean, I could have you a cannon. I could have you a potato gun next week.
Can it be a mock-up for our cannon?
Yeah.
Can it be like step one in the evolution of us with a cannon?
Yeah, like the Stone Age of us getting a cannon.
Dude, think about it. Like if something terrible was to happen to one of us, maybe the rest of us would be like really cool paintings after. Or
Yeah.
painters afterwards. They make really cool shit.
You know, like Van Gogh didn't get good till he cut his ear off.
Well, Francisco Goya didn't get good until he saw a lot of nasty shit.
So Jackson Pollock didn't, you know.
Goya used to paint like families and stuff, and then he fought in the Napoleonic Wars, and then they found the rest of his paintings are called the black paintings on the wall of his house, and it was like demons and stuff. Like it really messed with him. They're awesome though.
And here we are, back to French.
No, he's well, I mean Napoleonic Wars were French, but Goya's Spanish. He was an enemy of France. That's why.
Goya is in Japan. I've been there.
There's like a self-portrait. Like he was good at like normal stuff, but they had like seance with witches and like demons eating babies and stuff on his walls when they went in after he died.
So anyways, you want to come over next week and catch a potato out of our first iteration of what will be a cannonball?
One of his black paintings.
Oh,
Yeah,
Shoot.
yeah,
Far? How do you go from doing self-portraits to that? Like, yeah, you've seen some stuff.
yeah.
That's like whenever I was in basic training, once you got to where you were about to graduate, you'll start doing, it's called baby flight EC. It's basically you just do like security for the younger flights coming in. And the younger flights or whatever, it's weird because that's where like the people just get there and they're panicking.
yeah.
They do some weird stuff. Like there was a dude wrote in Sharpie all over his body, like, let me out, get me out of here. I need help.
Yeah.
Like head to toe and was running around in his underwear screaming. And I said, I'm out. I want no more of this. That was crazy.
This dude, like, so he was fighting in one of the first like big modern wars against the guy who was taking over all of Europe. So
Is this
like,
going to be
guns and
French again?
cannons. Napoleon was, but back then, Your regiment wasn't just the guys they put together. It was like your neighbors and shit. So you were seeing all this terrible stuff happen. To be like, oh, that was Greg from 2 doors down. Holy shit. So it'd be like, that would really mess you up. I could see why he painted babies getting eaten and stuff afterwards. Like PTSD is a thing in general, but like when you like, it's not just I've been through training with this guy and stuff. There's a camaraderie there, but it's like, no, that's my cousin. That was my brother. That's my dad.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't take much before you just freaking snap. Especially when it's giant lead balls removing heads.
Yeah, and that's like real war.
Yeah, and like I feel like that's a whole different impact when like your buddy got shot next to you, which is just as traumatizing, but just standing there and now someone's like head is not there.
Yeah, that's different. It's got to be different.
That'd be
like that chest piece.
Yeah.
He's just vapor. Red mist.
In my head, I just picture that boom, boom, all the way through, and then like he still like kind of looks at you, and you're looking like,
and then it rolls and takes off everybody's legs behind him.
Yeah.
It's like Saving Private Ryan intro, but cranked up to 30.
Oh, yeah. So anyways, Alan, can we get a cannon?
Yeah.
All right, well, potato gun next week. Baby steps. Maybe. You said you could have one.
You're sending mixed signals now, Alan. Christmas is ruined. Let's get Keela's opinion.
Yeah.
Keela, can we have a cannon?
Yeah. All right, she didn't have a mic. She said yes.
Shall not be infringed upon. All right, let's...
Listen,
right to keep and bear arms.
I just showed her the SNL video last night. She knows
Dude,
now.
that was the best.
Guns.
Yeah. If you hadn't seen the Walton Goggins bit on SNL, we got to show you when it's over. It's pretty.
It's great.
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, bro, it's solid. It's if I had a time machine, it's kind of shit I'd be doing.
I 100% believe that. You would definitely be the guy in the corner just saying off the wall stuff.
What's that say? What will posterity say of us? We don't play.
Yeah. We just had a whole thing that you could say whatever you want. Maybe this will balance it out.
Bingo. Solid. Like a bowel movement I haven't had in quite some time. You been pooping?
Not as regular.
Same, dude. This cut is brutal on the old pooper. It's out of order.
You have that on cuts. Do you have to cut for yours, or do you usually still kind of?
So this time I went always since South Carolina, I went like professional. I got an actual nutrition coach.
Ooh.
Yeah. Because, before I would just
Jared Fogle. No, that's Jared from Subway. I thought that.
Oh, I was like,
you thought I actually knew?
I did. I was like, do you know his nutritionist, or do you know a nutritionist?
He writes him from prison. It's like, look, dude, 12-inch chicken teriyaki, whole grain.
Anyways,
it's Ross. He's part of the Stronger Together with Cody.
Oh yeah, he told us about him.
Yeah, he does basically all their nutrition stuff, and so I hired him to do my. It's not like super specific. He just gives me my macros, and he wants me to. So USS, I'll have to be at 181. So he wanted me to get heavier, and after South Carolina, we bumped up to like 30, like right at 3,000 calories. Not eat that is no problem, but like 3,000 good calories is a lot harder than 3,000 calories at McDonald's because I could do that in a meal.
100%.
So whenever I'm having to hit like specific things, it was hard. And I got used to it, and I was like, all right, I'm feeling good. And he checks my weight log, and I wasn't getting any weight. So he bumped me up to like 36. I was like, all right, man, 36. Here we go. It felt like it was just all day I was eating. Like I have set timers. And after like 4 weeks, I put on like 2 pounds. He went, all right, we're going to bump up. And I'm at like 38, 80 now. It's crazy. It's awful. I'm not having a good time.
See, we've been on the opposite side of it. And I don't know what our macros are or our calories because I don't know if Sam just knew me well enough to know that if he were to say eat 3,000 calories and give me no direction, there's so much trash.
3,000 calorie breakfast.
Yeah, there's so much trash that will be in that. Like I've said it before. I can fit a fudge round in calories. Like if you just here's what you need to eat in a day, buddy, I'll skip a meal and eat so many Swiss rolls. But so now he just laid out like 5 meals a day. This is what you eat all 5 of those. Period.
Yeah.
I do better with that. I don't like it. I'm not eating as much, but works.
Yeah, all I do is eat, basically all day.
Yep.
and smoothies. Now I have smoothies, like protein smoothies.
Is that a good thing? Do you like those smoothies?
They're easier. I feel like I can drink the calories a lot easier than I can eat them.
Yeah. I know I've seen a lot of bodybuilders talk about like drinking orange juice just to get extra calories in, just because drinking calories is easier. Which, if you go visit any bar, I think that's true.
We weren't talking like a huge cannon, Keela. Like a modest size cannon.
No.
Like nothing that shoots anything bigger than a softball. Like we'll cap ourselves at a softball, like a 2-foot board.
I love the cap at a softball. Dude, a softball is the size of a cannon.
Well, you're not helping us at all, are you, Caleb? I'm trying to get us a freaking cannon out here. You're like, oh, it's kind of big. All right, golf ball. We can make it go when it shoots.
Listen, she don't get off work till 5:30. All we got to do is have the cannon here and be done before she gets home. But it's okay.
We could greet her with it.
She doesn't have headphones, so she
Just
can't
went
hear me.
across the bow.
She doesn't have headphones, so she don't hear me talking.
We can shoot them at the cows.
I bet I would have got Michael with that one.
Probably.
Michael, he's not here. He's
He's
usually over there and we're making fun of him a little bit more than now. But one time he was running sound because Alan wasn't here. And I had to go over and adjust some stuff on sound. And I told them to keep talking so I could adjust stuff. And they kept talking and then they stopped. I didn't think anything about it, but they kept mouthing words to each other. Michael over there, he goes, we lost him. I looked up, I was like, I can hear they're not talking. I looked up, and I looked at him, he's looking at them, looks at me.
I was just so happy that me and Holland thought the same thing at the same time. We didn't discuss it at all. We just started messing with it. We both just started mouthing words.
And he fell for it so fast.
I could see his face immediately.
And he goes, we lost him. I was like, what are you talking about?
Dude, they're sitting in your lap. You know they're not really talking.
That quick little panic, you don't know what to do.
Yep. That was almost exactly like whenever he thought he hit record and didn't. That's happened twice.
What about a cannon like that diameter? We could use the zone canisters as a Savo.
Hey.
Sabo. It's Savo, right?
What is that?
Oh,
It's not cannon.
Oh,
balls when I'm
fudge.
arrested.
Oh yeah, I saw ants in it.
I don't care. It's still good.
I got ants in my
I
pants.
didn't. I was.
Sorry, boys.
Don't worry.
Once we have our cannon, you'll be sorry.
Yeah. As soon as you build us a cannon, it's over.
Dude, why do you see the whelp that leaves on your ass?
And it's fine because I have a Magneto helmet in there, and so like basically I'm immune to.
I wouldn't trust you all with a marshmallow cannon.
I wouldn't trust me with a marshmallow cannon either. That's a
Well.
choking hazard.
Yeah, obviously. Why would we want a marshmallow cannon?
Yeah.
You're talking crazy, honey. Let us finish this.
Well, that way David could shoot marshmallows into Holland's mouth.
That's problematic.
That makes me uncomfortable, dude. Like I've dabbled, but I've not crossed completely over those dark arts. You know what I mean? It's a little far for me, Alan. I'm a good Christian lady. I just want a cannon.
Yeah. This is the first time me and Dave have fully agreed on something.
Yeah.
So I think
We're both locked
basically
in.
it has to happen.
We're
now.
making a cannon.
Yeah. If you don't, we're
Yeah.
going to do it. And what's worse?
Nothing bigger than like a swivel gun on a deck of a ship. You know?
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. We're not
Have you
talking.
looked into how much goes into making one of those?
It's just a tube that goes boom when you blow stuff up. In it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Listen, there can't be that much to it. Alan.
It's pretty involved.
Well,
Dude, I'll involve you in an ass whooping. You keep putting down this idea.
listen, I've got an extra tripod over here. We can mount it to that tripod. What could go wrong?
It blow up in your face.
Dude,
Listen, see, this is why you need to make it.
What?
If you let us make it,
what cooler way to lose a couple fingers? Like, what dude in 2025 is walking around like, dude, how'd you lose your pinky? Cannon.
yeah. Dude, that's like that one dude that lost a finger, and whenever you asked him, he was like, a locomotive. No one messed with him. He didn't tell him that he actually cut it off in a shear working on a locomotive. But no one asked a question then. So basically, just listen. Iron Pal, Dude, we're called the Iron Palace, and we don't have a cannon. Really, that's a travesty. We have stone walls, thrones, no cannons.
That's true. I feel like a cannon would suit well.
Really set it off.
I feel like the Iron Palace is more like the trebuchet.
I don't have one of those either.
Trebuchet. Guess where that word's from.
Oh, I do have a trebuchet, but it's
Same place as
my trebuchet is
guillotine.
only this big.
Exactly. You got one. There you go.
National
But
Park
we need
Service
a
has
bigger
guide to
one.
Build your own cannon. Probably not a cool one though, because they're feds.
Listen, so much content could come from this. One,
FloridaHillbilly.com, DIY small scale artillery. Clicking that link.
That sounds like it'll work.
Yeah.
send me that one.
A black powder
Fine, Alan.
cannon.
We don't need you. We got YouTube.
We got a whole website dedicated to it. Tools, each with a special use. He's got a picture of a hammer, a pair of pliers, and a Magnum revolver.
I'm in. This is going to be our own content right here. This is
Pretty solid little cannon.
what?
Yeah.
Look at it. See, this is what we're talking about, Alan. You can't do that. Good thing we got Florida Hillbilly,
Yeah, dude. Land of the free.
home of the brave.
If tomorrow I lost all the things. I'll cry looking at that cannon. Lee Greenwood playing. Son, I'll lose my shit right now.
All right, so I guess to talk about something a little bit more on topic, since we've wasted probably over an hour now.
Time enjoyed is not time wasted. And I enjoy talking about cannons.
Not that part. I was talking about the random other stuff. Okay. Anyways,
Turned me into a human cannon.
so I'm going to ask this question, knowing very well that there's only 2 people in this room other than me that have probably watched this video. Anyways, did anybody watch Mitch Hooper's recap of World's Strongest Man?
I caught like clips of it. I didn't watch the whole.
Okay, you were one of the 2?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew Dave had not. And I knew she did not either.
I was watching people break down the scans from under the pyramids. It's mainly the tip I've been on this week.
Ew.
But now it's going to be cannons for a couple weeks.
Or just one if somebody would make us one.
Yeah, Alan. Yo ho ho, dude.
Dude, it's my birthday.
Yeah, dude. It's almost mine.
Yeah.
One birthday present, one big cannon, or 2, and we can shoot them at each other. Hear me
Yeah.
out. Hear me out.
Now, here we go.
Yeah. 50 paces. We settle it like men.
All right, but I call uphill.
I call the bigger cannon.
Wait, why is there a bigger one?
I just assumed. Dude, you don't want to get a Frenchman on artillery.
I've seen my dad make this face before, and it doesn't end well.
Last time the French got artillery, they took over all of Europe. You don't want
Okay.
that smoke, dude.
So
I'm the
anyways,
Emperor of Alcoa.
so Mitch Hooper did his recap of World's Strongest Man. And I will say some parts I didn't like where he made it sound like he underperformed whenever at the same time, I think it's like we've talked about with perspective, is Tom Stoltman saying he felt good about how it went because he kept up with Mitch Hooper. And Mitch Hooper is saying that he underperformed, which is crazy.
I've never been a real fan of Mitch Hooper anyway. He's always seemed like a kind of cocky, arrogant,
Yes.
above.
And I think
And I
that's
mean,
why I've kind of liked him.
I get it because he's winning, so he's
Yep.
kind of earned it to be like that. But at the
Yep.
same time, it's that kind of goes against my whole like presence of the sport.
True. Yeah.
That's kind of why I've always liked strongman, because no one that I've competed with has had that mentality.
Mhm.
That's what makes it easy to keep coming back. So when you see like the pros with that, I'm like, I don't know about them. So
Yeah, that's why I'm also like I've liked Mitch Hooper for that. I wouldn't like it if I'm competing against him,
yeah,
but outside looking in perspective, I've kind of liked, I guess, mostly because as someone who lacks a lot of confidence in sports or in competing, it's cool to see someone who has the opposite of that. But I'm curious to see how this is his not first place in.
wow.
Yeah.
Anything he's competed in.
Yep.
Yeah, he's been pretty dominant for.
Which is crazy because like that's what.
I think it has anything to do with his personal life here. Rick.
Oh, it 100% does. That's what he talked about in the video, which is what I was about to get to.
That's the thing there too. He bashed Stoltman.
Mhm.
The same thing he
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, that's what everyone is
That's
throwing
like,
a lot of hate on him for. Is it wasn't so much that he did it because, I mean, whatever, but yeah, he bashed Luke Stoltman pretty bad.
Yeah.
And then turns around and does the same thing. So, yeah, that was what he talked about in his video was that all the stuff that's outside of it heavily weighed in. He said that he went into it. He said it was harder to wake up in the morning than it was to, or harder to get out of bed in the morning than it was to go compete at World's Strongest Man. And which is a crazy thought because, like, you're on a pretty large stage. But it is a crazy thought. And as someone who's also been there, that was a little bit, I could relate to that. But so I'm interested to see how he bounces back from it because it's his first non-first place. It's the pretty big mental
setback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested to see the comeback and to see how he comes back. Or does he drop out? I don't see him dropping out, but I'm curious because that's usually where I judge people's character is like, okay, that happened. How do you come back from that?
Yeah.
So I'm interested. I'll be watching. What do you think, Dave?
You know anybody with a lathe?
Yeah,
You have a lathe?
No, I don't.
he kind of does.
Well, if you kind of do, then you're kind of making a cannon, dog. We could put the iron bands around it for if it blows up. You get a long fuse, dude.
What do you think this is, Wile E. Coyote?
I'm really, really bummed that you're so out on the cannon. I thought Alan was a man of freedom.
I got all kinds of guns you can shoot.
It's not the same. I got guns. I want a cannon.
No, I'm with him. So what do you think about Rain O'Neill winning World's Strongest Man?
I think it was cool.
That's what I thought.
I thought it was awesome.
Came out. I remember whenever I was scrolling Facebook because we were at
Somebody that's just a hobby to them. It's
Yeah.
It's not like
crazy. Like
dedicating his life to this.
I was scrolling Facebook because we can't watch it, and so I'm scrolling Facebook and we were busy that whole day anyways, and it popped up from World's Strongest Man Facebook page saying Rain O'Neill World's Strongest Man winner, and I was like, this has got to be fake. I've never heard of this guy.
Yeah, I've never heard of the dude. I didn't even know he was competing.
No idea.
No clue.
Okay.
It burned me.
And my favorite part is we talked about it last week was whenever Eddie Hall interviewed him, and he said, and you still work a full-time job. He said, I hope the sponsors come out and you can quit your job. And he said, I actually really like my job. I don't think I'll ever quit being an electrical engineer. I was like, homie's an electrical engineer?
Yeah, he's a smart dude.
Like, I was like, good God. There you go. The total package. Rain O'Neill.
Does he have a cannon?
I would say after these sponsors come out, he could have one.
When we get a sponsor cannon, you can't use it, Alan.
Yeah. Whenever we do the rotation of whose house it gets to go to, it's not going to yours.
You can't use it until you make a TikTok video. You ride it like a horse going, I'm a little lady who's scared of cannons. Then maybe we'll consider it.
I thought it was also cool to watch Rain O'Neill winning after, I think he got like 6th in the Flintstone press. Like his shoulder pressing was
What's a
not,
Flintstone press?
Well, it's an overhead press, but they have giant rocks on the end.
That's cool.
Actually, you would dig it.
It looks like a Fred Flintstone implement.
Yeah, that's really
pretty
cool. It was the one that Mitch Hooper about killed himself on.
Didn't tell me they were doing cool shit, dude.
Dude, World's Strongest Man always does cool stuff.
I don't know.
You never seen the video of Franco Columbo about getting killed by a refrigerator
No.
at World's Strongest Man?
No.
Yeah.
I saw a cop going through somebody's car and like a improvised bomb going off the other day. That's the kind of shit I watch on the internet.
Anyway, you should watch more World's Strongest Man.
We'll see if it comes up on the feed organically.
I also don't know if World's Strongest Man is like all it's cracked up to be anymore. Because
We talked about that too.
Now it's like it's a TV show for him.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Which I did see that they talked about that it was someone that whenever World's Strongest Man started that made the deal. It's made this really long contract deal for them to, and now they can't get out of it, even though that guy is like dead.
yeah,
So that sucks. But
I feel like they more drive now for like Giants Live,
mm-hmm.
or even with Brian Shaw's out there, the strongest man on earth. Like I feel like those shows are going to start taking over as like your elite. I am the strongest dude versus world's strongest man.
Well, with Shaw and his payouts, I mean.
Well, and that's what we talked about too. Was at this point, World's Strongest Man is starting to be one of the lowest paid.
Yeah,
which I want to know because like Brian Shaw, Eddie Hall, like a lot of the big strongmen that are out there now have talked about at the end of their career, what they count is how many World's Strongest Man wins they have. They don't count all their Arnold wins or all this. That's the ones they care about. And I want to know how long is that going to stay on that pedestal with all these other ones coming up.
To where it becomes irrelevant anymore. That's kind of how I feel with like wanting to go to the Arnold Classic in 2026. Like I want to go compete and stuff, but now it's almost more attractive to go to OSG, Pro Strongman League, PSL, shows like that versus trying to go through all the steps and jump through all the hoops to get to the Arnold, where it's not really what everyone's striving for now. You got a lot bigger shows that you can do.
Because used to it was a very clear difference between like small backyard shows and the Arnold or World's Strongest Man. And now I feel like a lot of those that used to be the backyard competitions are now becoming the OSG, the Shaw Classic, all these big things.
Yeah.
And that aren't afraid to get a high or big promotion, which is also, I think the TV deal is a big thing hurting World's Strongest Man because you're going to miss a lot of your sponsorship ads, a lot of the money that these other people are having zero problems make. Now you can't because you can't air it until like
6 months later.
Is it 6 months? I never remember.
It used to be Christmas. It come out at Christmas.
Yeah, I never remember when it is, but still, that's stupid.
That's crazy. I mean, there's no other sporting event.
You know the outcome.
There's none.
6 months before it.
Yeah,
you can watch it.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing too is like you got like people on YouTube like Eddie Hall or Pow Dwyer, like those people can make content about what's going on. They just can't show the events happening. So yeah, you're going to know everything that happened without getting to watch it, which is kind of worse.
Yeah.
But because like I'm watching these people, like I don't really watch Eddie Hall's YouTube, but now I'm having to watch it so I can find something out because now I know the outcome and I want to know how we got here, but I don't get to watch the actual events. I got to watch the highlights. It's lame. I will say I do like that they changed World's Strongest Man to the different scoring system. They changed it more of like the OSG, which I really think might have opened it up more for someone like Ray Nonell to win. So, which wouldn't have really been possible last year, but now, first year they change it, got a guy came from nowhere. So I hope they keep it.
He didn't have a whole lot of competition under his belt either, did he?
He's only been doing strongman for 2 years. Yeah. That was his first ever World's Strongest Man. I think if you look up his Wikipedia like I did, he had Africa's Strongest Man twice. I think that's it. It's crazy. And
that's
even those, I think one of those one of the promoters that had got him into Africa's Strongest Man had posted their conversations just to show like how humble the guy is. And he wasn't even like, he was like a last minute into Africa's Strongest Man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the guy he had messaged him like, "Hey man, I got you a spot," and Rayno's like, "Oh dude, I appreciate it." You know, and like, got him into the show, wins, and then goes on to win World's Strongest Man. Freaking crazy.
I've been following him for years, dude. I'm an avid Africa's Strongest
I
Man
want to know what his like social media pages did overnight. Because in my head, I imagine he had like 53 followers and then wakes up the next morning and has like 3 million. I don't know if that's actually what happened, but that's how I picture it. Maybe one day that'll happen to us. We just got to win World's Strongest Man.
Or Africa's Strongest Man.
Or that. Although I would argue that he really didn't blow up until he won World's Strongest Man.
Speak for yourself, dude. Africa's a big place.
I didn't say.
You blow up in Africa, you've blown up in most of the world. Not population-wise, but just like landmass-wise, you know. Don't take this from him, Caleb. Don't be a Debbie Downer. Don't try to steal his thunder, okay?
I don't
be like, oh, this guy was a nobody.
I don't understand what point you're trying to make.
All right. We've had it up to here. Africa's been misrepresented on maps for years. What? They color it in smaller than it really is. It's all propaganda, dog. So don't upset my people any more than you already have.
Oh, yeah, he's also part Ivory Coast.
2% Ivory Coast.
Ask me how I know that.
I gave him a printout.
Might as well have. Big pie chart.
Across America, countless people can't access the health care they desperately need. At Remote Area Medical, we believe everyone deserves quality care. That's why we offer free dental, vision, and medical services at mobile pop-up clinics nationwide. Just compassionate care from volunteer professionals. Your tax-deductible donation makes these clinics possible, changing lives and creating healthier communities. Join us today in bringing essential health care to those in need at ramusa.org.
He's also part Neanderthal, but he didn't talk about that nearly as much.
That's pretty cool. That's why I got Hobbit feet. I'm less than 2%, but it's more than 34% of 23andMe users. I'm just a young black French Neanderthal dude.
He actually said that to my boss the other day.
Yeah. So if you don't hire me, I'm going straight to AR. I'm diverse as hell, dog. If it's for me, I'm in the shower. Somebody answer this. Spam risk. Never mind.
Alan, answer that.
So I would love to see United States Strongman.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see them starting getting more alleys
Mm-hmm.
into bigger shows.
I agree.
Because now you go to nationals and they're like, good job.
Yep.
See you next year. And you're like, with my invite? They're like, no, you got to re-qualify.
Yep.
I'm like, ah.
I know, and you think
Okay.
with something called nationals,
You'd think I would
That
get
should be an automatic
You
qualifier.
did it.
at least
For the next
your
year.
top three
Yep.
get automatic invites.
Yeah,
And
that's whack.
When you have, I mean, my lightweight class this year has 46 people
that's crazy.
just in my class. And Strongman Corporation, their nationals last year had 14.
See, and I think that's really cool. I think it shows growth in the sport because, I mean, especially in the lightweight division, there's not a lot of lightweight competitors. And that's across the board. That's not just strongman. That's, I mean, unless it's powerlifting where there's a million weight classes.
I start at 99 pounds.
Yeah.
Go up by
But
2.
but across the board, there's not a lot of lightweights. So I think it's really cool that there's 46 people in one class at one competition. That's cool. Because, I mean, like Highland Games, there's almost never even a lightweight division. It's open, but no one signs up for it, so it doesn't exist.
Yep.
That's whack. Even if somebody doesn't know anything about this stuff, I would assume Winter Nationals would qualify you for something else at the very least.
Yeah. So if you go through Strongman Corporation, you win their nationals, you get your pro card, invite to the Arnold, invite to America's Strongest Man. But USS on the other side, it's just you got nationals, which I'm still gonna do.
Yeah.
But I would like for it because I feel like USS now is almost taking over Strongman Corporation. It's much more broad, a lot more competitions, a lot more athletes. Like we have 650 at this year's nationals total athletes.
Good Lord.
It's huge. Last year was 600. It's massive, but their avenues of going further is just.
I could be off, but like once you get to that level, like it would be tough to qualify for stuff because you got to recover. So like, why would they not qualify you for something? Because now it's like, okay, I want to do this and this. Okay, I got to worry about if this is early enough for me to recover and train for this.
Yep.
Instead, it's like, oh, you've already proved yourself. You're going on to this one, and then you just got to recover. And
Which almost every other, not even just sport, every other like nationals, like Mr. Olympia. Once you win Mr. Olympia in any class or division, you are forever invited back to the Olympia, period. Anything else, you're invited back the next year. You win the Arnold, you're invited back the next year. In anything, any of the competitions at the Arnold.
So I said, so I have to compete through. I mean, I don't have to compete in USS. I just like like how they have it set up and the way they do things. And not that Strongman Corporation does it bad. It's just USS is more accessible to me. They're more local. Their weight classes are set up better for me at 181 versus 175. That saves me 6 pounds a cut.
Yeah, that's a steep difference.
Yeah.
Which doesn't sound like a lot, but as I've learned in the last 15 weeks, that's a lot.
When you start getting down there, it's hard to cut 6 pounds when you get close.
Unless you're freaking hauling.
And then so if I compete in USS, then go to nationals, that's cool. But then I have to flip, go back down to 175, go to Strongman Corporation, compete in theirs. So if I could just do USS all the way through, that'd be cool. And I don't see why they can't do like the Arnold invite.
I don't know why they can't.
I don't know what.
I would like
I'm
to
sure
see
there's some political logistic thing in there somewhere.
I'd like to see kind of the opposite of the way I've seen powerlifting go. It's powerlifting, you have all these federations. None of them want to talk to each other. None of them want to work with each other. A lot of them, if you even compete in one, they won't let you in theirs. So I would like to see strongman get away from that and do something like, okay, we've got these different organizations, but what if we did something together? Like to go back to Highland Games, for example, our friend Danny Webster has organized an East Coast championship, and then he's talked to another athletic director on the West Coast to make a West Coast championship. And then starting next year, there's going to be a national Highland Games.
Oh,
like one of the first ones. Like, so that's what I like, even though they're different parts that put on their own games, do their own structures of stuff, but they're still working out to do a national thing. Like, I don't see why Strongman Corps couldn't do that same thing.
Well, yeah, that was Strongman Corporation and USS were together and then split and made the whole. There's been a whole kit and caboodle since it was like what, 9 years ago when they made the split, and now you can't wear a Strongman Corporation shirt, grip shirt if you're competing in USS, and you can't wear an OSG shirt if you're competing in Strongman Corp. Like you have to wear their federation grip shirt or a neutral one like Cerberus. I said I don't understand. I'm not repping their federation, man. I'm just trying to grip this log. I don't.
Whoa.
Yep. Pause.
Hold the phone.
All I know is that sounds like whenever my parents got divorced and I have to pick on whose house I'm going to, and I can't take stuff from one to the other.
Yeah.
But anyways, I feel like I haven't said that in a long time. But anyways, yeah. I would like to see them do like. Let's settle the whatever beef we had that made them split up. Let's do a little more stuff that can make the athletes benefit from it rather than making it more difficult, like having to cut weight class just to go and do a similar competition, or or have to buy a whole bunch of different equipment depending on which one you're going to, and don't.
I got hands, bro.
You may, I don't. Oh God, there's about to get stuff everywhere.
I was waiting for you to run out of stuff and then throw us your shirt.
Don't give him an idea. It wouldn't be the first time he's taken his shirt off in the studio.
Would be the last time.
Probably won't be the last. I don't even know why you threw me this. What am I doing with this?
I don't know. He just had me throwing stuff down.
I was wanting to keep throwing stuff at you until you started dropping things.
Dude, I got hands, yo. Well, anyways, we basically did a Zone ad for like the first half of this podcast. But if you ever want some smelling salts, go to Zone.
They smell nice.
They do. Go to zonesmellingsalts.com. Pick out your favorite ones. The Ion, I recommend them. They work really well. They're a good mid-grade. If you're looking for a really, really top shelf, if you will, I would go with the Frost, or I forget what the red one's called. I need to order the red one. I want it bad. There's also a gold one I want to try. Anyways, but after you pick out your favorite one, make sure you use code TIPP at checkout. Get you a sweet discount on some sweet salts that Dave loves.
They're better post-shake.
They're also better if you haven't used them a million times
these are old.
over
like
2 years.
The fact that these are still as good as they are is incredible.
Yep.
The fact that these still catch you every now and again. These are the good shit.
Nutrifit.com. If you need pre-workout, creatine, all things I just had to reorder, go to Nutrifit.com. Use code CalebCDay. It's the only discount code that is different, but use code CalebCDay.
SEADAY.
No, Caleb, CALEB, CDAY at checkout for another discount. Then, if you're looking for some cool merch and you don't want to buy some from anywhere else, there's 2 places that you can go. You can go to Hosswear, buy yourself a thick shirt, buy yourself a Hosswear shirt. Any of their Power Belly, any of their stuff is great. But if there's not anything there that's tickling your fancy, go to Etsy, search the Iron Palace Podcast or Daydream Designs. Both are going to lead you to our merch line.
Also see a priest so you stop wanting your fancy tickled. Get that sorted out.
No discount code for that one, but the links to all of these, along with the discount codes, will be in the description as always. I feel like I'm missing one. I keep thinking.
Almost as good as a cannon.
Yeah. You know how cool ads would be if we could just shoot stuff out of a cannon?
Yeah.
Dude, like imagine shooting Regenesis out of a cannon, then slow-mo it blasting into the cannon. How
We could make
sick
it,
would
we could
that
make
be?
It this size. Like I said, make this a salvo. Launch it in an arc. Catch it over your shoulder. Like I'm freaking Ocho Cinco, dude. What an ad. What an ad.
I've never heard the word salvo so many times.
I'm
You
picturing
didn't watch enough Mythbusters.
picturing like the what was the deodorant guy that was riding a horse?
Oh, yeah.
Look at your man. Now
Yeah.
look at me. Now look at this horse.
So I feel like that'd be you could shoot it, you could catch it.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
this is why we need a cannon.
Maybe
you know what?
two.
Just bring do what you can. Bring the potato gun next week. We'll try it.
Make a small potato gun and you 3D print a cannon hull.
I wish they could
Now
hear
you're already
you.
looking for loopholes. We want iron in the air.
Listen. You know what? We'll compromise. Potato gun next week. If it all goes well, cannon.
2 Christmases.
Then cannon the next week. And we'll have the standards put up so then we can see how high it shoots.
Yes, dude. We could dig the iron balls out of the yard
Whoa.
and not just Hollins. Hey, up top, Hollins. It's like he's still here.
What clapped?
Nobody would moving their hands. Hey. Anyways.
Also, I've mentioned it before about putting these on our Etsy page. I have not yet, but I will. If you'd be interested in a pre-workout funnel, on those times that you're at a competition and you have your pre-workout and a water bottle and no funnel, you can have one of these. And if you're going to have one of these, you might as well have one that is going to fit all the needs. It's going to fit your pre-workout in there totally. This is going to fit in a bottle perfectly, and then wouldn't you know it, it's got our logo on the top.
It also holds 5 creatine gummies with room to spare.
True. So if you'd be interested in buying one of those, let us know in the comments, and I'll make sure these get posted up for you to purchase. Anything else?
All right, hear me out.
Oh, God.
I will let you shoot at me with said cannon
I've never
with
listened
me
harder.
in a little rowboat. You got to sink my rowboat.
We going to the river?
If we can keep the
Yes.
cannon, yeah.
We going to the river?
Yeah, dude. I
Yo,
can
we should go to
swim.
Fort Loudon.
I'm like a chubby Michael Phelps, dog.
Wait. Fort Loudon has a cannon. We don't even have to make one.
Just
They
use
have
theirs.
one. We don't even need Allen anymore. We got a cannon. Don't worry about it,
Now
Allen.
such a big shot now, huh, buddy?
Now we got our own cannon.
We're gonna be big shots.
Yeah. Or big shoots even.
Dude, potato cannons are cool, but they don't sizzle and pop quite like the
Yeah.
real thing. You know what I mean?
They don't go boom. They go,
A little tease.
yeah.
Okay, what would baseball size?
All right. What if our first shot out of the cannon goes at Batman? That way we can make sure it's safe.
Yeah. And then if Batman can catch it, I'll catch it.
Yeah. He's not saying no.
Come on, dog. Like a lot of your velocity is based on muzzle length, anyways, isn't it? We're just talking like 3 feet because it's got to look cool. 2 feet. Give that 3.5 feet. Baseball size.
What if we can fit it on a wristwatch and I can shoot a cannon like Spider-Man shoots webs?
Hear me out. We do about 3 foot baseball size bore, but we put it on full size wagon wheels.
That we press overhead and then shoot it.
Or make a full size one and people can try to drag it up the hill.
Yes.
It's an event. Boom.
Boom.
See, we got endless possibilities with a singular cannon, Alan.
You know
You're
what?
really holding us back.
Yeah.
You're stifling our creative energy.
This is the first time me and Dave have worked together at anything. So how do you say no to this?
I went to the greatest yoga studio in
I've
East
had
Tennessee.
5 kids, so I can say no pretty easy.
Yeah, but none of them were wanting a cannon.
Oh, they did.
I went to the greatest yoga studio in East Tennessee, and she got my chakras aligned, and now you're really shaking them up, and I might have to go back. This cannon thing has me shooketh, dog. I just need a can. I'm going to toss and turn tonight. thinking about how much better my life would be if Alan would just quit being a Nancy
How
about the
did we
cannon.
get on the cannon kick, anyways?
Don't worry about it. Let's
Does
just
it matter?
follow the
It's a
flow,
cannon.
dude. Yeah.
All right, I'll 3D print us all helmets so that we're safe.
Yeah.
He's thinking about it.
This is going to annoy you until we get one because
Yeah.
I will not let this go. I will.
That's
I'll go to
100
the grave.
You know,
wanting
eventually
cannon.
I'll let it go because I'll hyper focus on something else.
I will not.
He will not.
I will not.
Have you met Alex?
Oh, he has a point.
Does she want a cannon also?
There's no shot that she doesn't want a cannon.
We got to get her on the cannon train. So Alan's also hearing it at home.
Yeah. So we found this thing the other day that I'm wanting to try for an event because I think it'll be cool.
It's called a cannon.
Well, there's that. We're working on that one. Still workshopping it. If you haven't heard.
Spitballing ideas.
Yeah. But at our gym, they have this big, like, you know, the rollers they use to, like, smooth out pavement and stuff. Well, there's one that is solid stone. Looks like it's straight out of the Flintstones. And I don't know how heavy it is. It looks very heavy. But I want to hook a harness up to it and see if we can pull it. I think it's an idea.
Oh, yeah. That thing's huge. But I think once we got it rolling, it wouldn't be bad. As bad as, like, because it's, like, in a rut right now.
Oh, wouldn't be bad. I thought you said it would be bad. I was like,
No.
why?
I think once we got out of that rut, like, it would be awful.
I think so. I want to go try it this week so that maybe we can take it as part of our stone lifting coming up. Because it's a stone.
Technically.
Like long cylinder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Type.
Like a long concrete
It's
cylinder.
probably like 10 yards long, dude.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
What, probably about that big
Yeah.
around?
Like, yeah.
Yeah, that thing's heavy.
Yeah,
You can
there's-
do like a finger flip.
Is it solid?
I don't know.
It's got a hole big enough for the little axle in the
So
middle.
yeah, it's a big concrete cylinder, but they've got
A sleeve.
like a rod through it, and then it's got a big tongue to hook onto your truck so that you can pull it.
What do they use it for?
I don't know. It's been sitting there since we moved over there. So
the pioneers used it to make roads.
it was one of my many ideas that I have whenever I have to do cardio at the gym. And I saw it as I was walking around the little track thing, and I was like, yo. I actually called Holland on the spot. I said, you have a harness for a card pull, right? And he goes, yeah. I was like, I need you to bring it ASAP. He has not brought it yet. But when he does.
Oh, that was not my phone. That was y'all's.
I don't know.
I texted the Iron Palace group officially and said, what do you boys think about making a cannon? They haven't got back to me yet. Mainly
Right.
Mr. Hard to get over here.
Anybody got anything else to add before we wrap this up?
No, not if we're not getting a cannon.
You know, they get their way and they start pitching a fit. They want to actually pitch a fit.
Dude, I will cause a scene.
Dave has caused a bigger scene over less.
I will have a meltdown.
All right. Well, if no one else has got anything else to add, Josh, thanks for coming out again. Hopefully, it's not been too bad. I feel like we really got on a roll the last bit there.
That's a good time. It's always a good time.
Now let's go lift some stones.
Are you gonna have Denny stones at your stone lifting?
Yep. So we're actually going to have the day stones, but they're going to be more of like a challenge lift. If anybody wants to try them, they're 8-10 total. They're actually out here if you want to try them before you leave.
Get your name in the book.
Yeah. I've got 2 books. If you lift them using straps, you get M1. If you lift them without straps, you get to join only one other person that's done it without straps. Me.
How much cooler would it be if people could lift the stones and once they clear the ground, cannon?
Or as soon as the stone breaks the ground, cannon fire right behind them. Dude, think of that video.
Be your opening video.
I think, see?
This is a $1 million idea.
And you can't tell me this is new because, fun fact, after we did a story on the guy that carried a cannon, our intro song, you know how it ends in an explosion? That's a cannon fire.
Sounds pretty meant to be. Just from the outside looking in.
See?
All right, Alan.
Well, thanks everybody. Thanks everybody for watching. Hope you liked it. I hope the editor makes this all fit together a little bit better and makes it really cool for you to watch.
Hope Alan quits being a cannon Nancy. This is his new term. Call him Canon Nancy across the cafeteria next time I see him.
All right.
Here comes Canon Nancy.
Anybody else going once, twice? Thanks again, Josh, for coming. See you on the next one.
A quote? No. All right, we were unprepared. Unprofessional. I would have had you guys a quote.
In